I truly believe this was one of the greatest wrestling tribute shows ever. It's up there with Eddie Guerrero. It's up there with Owen Hart. It's up there. This show was such an emotional, heartwarming, just outstanding piece of work to once again pay homage, pay tribute to a man who many people had literally nothing bad to say about. Every person that did a testimonial, from Jon Moxley to Eddie Kingston to Chris Jericho to Darby Allin to Arn Anderson, so many people had so many great things. Chris Jericho even talked about Jonathan Huber. And they said if there was a Mount Rushmore for wrestling dads, he would be up there. That's beautiful. That was a beautiful, beautiful statement to make. And I love this show for one reason and one reason alone. It solidified Jonathan Huber as one of the all-time greats. Because before this, his death was a tragedy. It was a tragedy because no one saw it coming. The guy just died. No one knew about what was wrong with him. We literally had to hear from his family that he died from lung failure, from lung problems. It's non-COVID related, by the way. And whether it was or not, who cares? No one cares about really what was the technical cause of his death. All we know is his lungs stopped working and he died. And they kept it a secret. Out of respect for him, they kept it a secret. So it was tragic to see him just up and die. It was very tragic. But AEW did something special tonight. They took what was a tragic death and used it to... You'll have to excuse me, god damn it. They used it to honor a great man. I thought every wrestler, every performer gave 150%. They exceeded beyond measure in this tribute to Brodie Lee. Commentary was amazing. Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, Excalibur, and Chris Jericho. All of them were fantastic. I love the 10-bell salute to open the show. Man, they were barely able to keep it together. That must have been hard for them. I love that throughout the show, it was basically, the best way I can describe it, taking the Dark Order, which I gotta say this, it was a gimmick that at first was terrible. It was the drizzling shits. It was horrible. Every segment, everything, every match was downright bad. Especially a year ago. Within a year, working with Brodie Lee, whether it's on BTE, wrong show, wrong network, BTE being the Elite, or Dynamite, we watched this group transform from a group of jobbers, a group of nobodies that just didn't make any kind of impact, to being one of the most beloved, heartwarming, and I gotta say it, lovable baby faces that we have right now in wrestling. I feel like the Dark Order turned babyface tonight. You can't have them be heels now. It's impossible for them to go back to being villains. They shouldn't. They're baby faces. They're baby faces. You might have to change the outlook of it a little bit. Maybe uh, kind of edit or switch up the theme. Maybe change up the color scheme. Whatever you have to do. But they're baby faces now. I'm not booing the Dark Order. I can't boo the Dark Order. Why would I? I haven't been booing them for months now. I think John Silver is the reason for that one. Thanks, John. But this show was all about the Dark Order. Every match had some member of the Dark Order in it, teaming with anybody on the roster. And I heard throughout the night, it's just a one-time thing, it's just a one-time thing. No. You can't. I think the smart thing to do would be to just turn them face. Why not? Okay, matches. Oh, shoot. You know what? Let me pull up the matches real quickly because I don't want to miss any of the details. The first match, I believe, was Colt Cabana and the Young Bucks taking on Matt Hardy and Private Party, right? So, Colt Cabana, I think we can all agree that he's been lacking a little bit in terms of his performance. He's had a rough go. He's had a rough past decade, actually. It's been a rough past 10 years for him. For many reasons. I think tonight was his best performance in a long time. This felt like old school Colt Cabana. Because he had a reason to go all out. And he brought it. It was almost like I was watching him from back in his heyday, man. Because Colt's up there. He's not young anymore. He looked great. It was a great performance for Brodie. And I'm not just going to give all the credit to Colt. I thought the Young Bucks did great. Matt and Nick Jackson. Matt Hardy is back to being a heel. Or he's becoming a heel eventually. But he's a heel. And he's trying to turn Private Party along with them. But I love that during the match. And that's another thing I love about this show. It didn't impede on storylines. They kept the progression of the stories going. But they were able to do that while honoring Brodie Lee. You still saw Matt Hardy trying to make Private Party join the dark side and Matt progressing more into his heelish natures. Villainous natures. He tried to have, it wasn't Isaiah. It was Mark Quinn, I believe. Mark Quinn, yeah. Tried to have Mark hit one of the Young Bucks with a chair. Was it Colt Cabana? It was somebody. He was going to use a steel chair, and Mark's like, nah, man, that's going too far. And as a result, the Young Bucks and Colt took advantage, and Colt got the pin with, what was it, the Superman pin or something like that? I forgot what it was called. But, yeah, it was a great match to open the show. It was one of those matches that made you go, why? You know what, I'm going to save that statement for the end of the review. But I think you kind of know what I'm getting ready to say. Kind of. Okay, what's next here? I think they did the testimonial with Jon Moxley before then. I think after this was Butcher and the Blade. Yeah, and Eddie Kingston taking on Dark Order members Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, and Lance Archer, who came out dressed as Luke Harper. He had the Luke Harper outfit. Yeah. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I bawled. I just bawled in tears when I saw that. I'm like, come on, guys. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh, great stuff all around. I loved Eddie's testimonial following this match too. Eddie, of course, one of the best talkers in wrestling right now. Of course he was going to hit you where you need to be hit. The match was great. Dark Order won. That was the theme throughout the night. Dark Order was going to win their matches. You kind of figured that was the play. That was the play here, and that was good. It should be that way. It should be that way. Let's see here. Hangman Page and the Beaver Boys, Alex Reynolds and John Silver from the Dark Order, taking on the Inner Circles, Maxwell Jacob Freeman, Ortiz and Santana. Man, MJF, let me tell you something. I love what they did with him and Brodie Lee Jr., Brodie Lee's son, who was sitting ringside. Because when the match first started, MJF is messing with his son, and you're like, oh, dude, come on, man, come on, really? Where is this going? What you trying to do here? And as the match progressed, and MJF is still trying to get that heat, he continues to mess with Brodie Lee's son. There was a point in the match where MJF snatches off Brodie Lee Jr.'s mask, who, Dark Order. He's wearing a mask in tribute to his father's stable. But MJF snatches it off. Brodie Lee Jr. gets a candlestick. He gets a candlestick and knocks MJF's ass out. And I popped so hard. Man, that was amazing. And that was one of those instances where I went, see, this is why I love MJF. He did that. He had that moment on purpose to give tribute to Brodie Lee. See, that's how you be a heel. He was still an asshole. He was screwing with his son. And I love wrestling, man. That was great. And I also love that, was this the match where Eric Rowan came out? Because Wardlow got involved, right, while the referee was distracted. And then Eric Rowan, I don't know what he's called now. It's Eric Rowan. Came out and he attacked Wardlow and ran him off. That was great. And then the team of Hangman and the Beaver Boys got the win with John Silver hitting Brodie Lee's discus clothesline. Yes, I cried. I don't mind saying that. Come on. Like, you would have to be very soulless. You would have to be a soulless bastard if you didn't cry at that. Wonderful. Wonderful finish. Amazing match. God, man, that was so awesome. More matches. NJ and Tainira Conti taking on Dr. Britt Baker and Penelope Ford. Of course, NJ got the victory with her Queen Slayer sleeper hold. Post-match, Britt Baker is interviewed by Tony Schiavone to complain about how the match was rigged, and the whole thing is a big rig. Get it? Big rig? That's what they call it, brother. Anyways, Thunder Rosa came out and attacked her. So again, they're continuing stories. They're not just, stop everything! Stop everything! No! Stop everything! Nothing matters here. No, AEW is still treating you like you matter, progressing characters, but still doing a tribute. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And then the main event was Cody, Orange Cassidy, and Preston Vance, who's number 10 of the Dark Order. This team was made because these are the 3 favorite wrestlers of Brodie Lee Jr. Oh. They allow Brodie Lee Jr. to pick the wrestlers of the main event. That's... Oh my god, man. Come on. Cody Rhodes, Orange Cassidy, and number 10 of the Dark Order. Taking on Team Taz, which is Brian Cage, Absolute Ricky Starks, and Powerhouse Will Hobbs. By the way, Big Willie Hobbs, future world champ. Calling it right now. He was freaking awesome. Freaking amazing. I loved him. He looked great. They made him look great on purpose. And then after the match, well, of course, the match ends with Preston Vance hitting a spine buster to get the win. Great stuff all around. Cody Rhodes, Orange Cassidy, and Preston Vance win the match. And then afterwards, Team Taz attack him. And then goddamn Darby Allin and Sting come out to make the save. Come on, man. It's the little things like that that make me so happy to be a wrestling fan. And I completely forgot to talk about Jake the Snake Roberts getting his hands on Eddie Kingston. Man. The show ended with a video package of Brodie Lee, but not before Cody cut a very heartfelt promo saying, "You can judge a man's character by how he treats somebody that can do him no good." Then he brought out Brodie Lee Jr. They do the tribute where they put his gear Brodie Lee's gear and to sit in the ring, boots, and then they what was it, a bandana they put over it. And then Tony Khan came out and gives Brodie Lee's son a TNT title and says, "You are forever the TNT champ." That is until 10 years later when Brodie Lee Jr. becomes a wrestler and he ends up fighting MJF for the world title. Fuck. Okay. Oh my God, what a show. What? Alright. Sorry about that. Whew. I can get through this. Yeah, that was one of the greatest tribute shows I've ever seen. That was beautiful. It was perfect. All wrestlers involved, male, female, did their jobs. You would have to be a heartless bastard to find something wrong with this show. You would have to deliberately go out of your way. This is not the show for that. And the reason why I'm calling it one of the greatest shows I've ever seen is because when you look on Twitter, you look on social media, and I guarantee you when you look at these comments as well, because any BS that you could see, you're not going to. I'll make sure of that. It's nothing but love. It's nothing but unity, peace, harmony. Brodie Lee brought everyone together. And when you think about what a horrible year 2020 has been, it's great to I don't even have a napkin. I'm sorry. Oh, it's great to end it on such a great note. Oh, fuck y'all. I'm sorry. Oh, genuine tears. Oh man. The wrestling world, for one night only, came together to celebrate a man that most of us will never get a chance to meet, have never met. We're not fighting over stupid things. We're not being critical. We're not talking about how fucked up the world is, because the world is fucked up. We were able to find something for 2 hours that was able to take our minds off of how horrible the world was. And in loving memory of one man named Jonathan Huber. Jonathan Huber. I can't even pronounce it. I've never been able to pronounce words. Words are not my friend, I know. So, for that very reason, I'm going to call this one of the greatest wrestling shows of all time. This was one of my favorite wrestling shows I've ever seen. It's one of the greatest tributes. Thank you, AEW. Rest in peace, Jonathan Huber, Brodie Lee, Luke Harper, and Brodie Lee Jr. My man. I'll be seeing you in the next 10 years. So you'll be fighting MJF in the main event for the AEW World title. Thank you. Thank you, Tony Khan. Thank you, Cody Rhodes. Thank you, all the executives. Thank you for watching. I'm going to end this before I embarrass myself even more. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys have a great night. For Brodie. See you guys later.